Hello everybody. So I just made a video about the basic concept behind permutations and combinations and how to tell them apart and what the basic calculations were. And now I want to talk about application problems. And in an application problem, you're going to have to read some scenario and decide what about the information is important, okay? And then put that together in the correct way. So I'll give a little flow chart here about how we might address that. So first you read the problem, and then because the entire distinction between permutations and combinations comes down to whether the order matters or the order does not matter, okay, and this is a slide from my previous video that I just made, then you ask yourself, does the order matter? Like whatever they're describing here, does the order make any difference at all? And if it does, then you're talking about permutations and you can use the associated formulas for that. And if the order doesn't matter, then you're talking about combinations and then you use the formulas for that. Okay, so here's an example where we'll have to read it and make a decision. So it says for a segment of a radio show, a disc jockey can play 5 records. Okay, this seems really old-fashioned, but okay. 5 songs, I guess, and there are 10 records or songs to choose from. So we got 10, we're going to choose 5. And how many ways can the program for this segment be arranged? So think of that a little bit like, if you want to go back to my other slide, that I've got here in this example, I have 3 letters to choose from, but I just want to take 2 of them at a time. So I'll get these 2-letter strings that are either distinguished by order or not. So here I have 10 songs to choose from, but I'm just going to take 5. All right, and so it's the same concept of that thing I just showed you. Now, okay, I read it. Does the order matter? Well, when I see this word arranged, then I'm thinking that, well, it would be different if you played song 1, then song 2, then song 3, versus if you played song 2, then song 1, then song 3 or something. So that word arranged indicates to me that the order makes a difference. The order that you're playing these songs is going to matter as an arrangement, okay? So I'm talking about permutations. Now we have a formula for how to calculate the number of permutations if you have 10 records taken 5 at a time. Here's my formula, okay? So I am going to do that. I'm going to take 10 records, choose 5 at a time. This will tell me how many permutations result. That formula would be 10 factorial over 10 minus 5 factorial. Okay, and for this you could use a calculator. I showed you how a scientific calculator has an interface looking something like this, and there will be a button for a factorial somewhere on it. Okay, I can't say where for every calculator because they're all probably a little bit different, but you know, you're looking for that key with the exclamation mark, which might be a key, it might be in one of the menus, okay? But it's there, and if you can't find it, you can let me know and I can help you out. So, well, if I do 10 factorial, I get that number. 10 minus 5, well, that's just 5 factorial, I get 120. If I divide it, there's 30,240 ways that could happen. I mean, I take 10 songs, pick 5 of them, arrange them any different way, you know, that's, you'll get like 30,240 ways that could happen, that arrangement could take place, where the order makes them all different. Okay, so yeah, that one, read it. Does order matter? Yes, permutation. Okay, but let's look at another one just for the sake of contrast. Looks like I gotta do a little erasing here real quick. Okay, there we go. So what I wanted is, I wanted to point to this word groups right there, okay? So it says, in order to conduct an experiment, 5 subjects are randomly selected from a group of 47 subjects, okay? So maybe these are college students at a university, and sometimes they pay you to be a part of a study. Maybe there's 47 people that are interested, and we're gonna pick 5 of them, okay? So we're gonna pick 5 out of 47. How many different groups of 5 subjects are possible? Now, when I hear the word groups, I don't think the order is important. There's nothing about that word that makes me think that whether you have Steve, Tom, Larry, or Larry, Steve, Tom, like the order that they're standing or arranged makes no difference, just a group of people. So I read it, I think, does the order matter? No, I mean, I can't, just the nature of that word, the order doesn't matter. Okay, so we're talking about combinations. So I want to know how many combinations there are if from 47 subjects I choose 5. Okay, and we have our formula for calculating that. You can see over here. All right, and it's 47 factorial over 47 minus 5 factorial times 5 factorial. So do this in the calculator, one number at a time, divide it, you'll get, 1,533,939 different groups, which sounds like a lot, but that's often how it goes with this. I mean, if you started trying to write out, if you had 47 people and chose 5 and tried to list all the possibilities, I mean, it's like an immense number. Okay, but we can trust it. I mean, given that it doesn't seem that order is important at all, we're dealing with combinations, that's the formula. Now, one thing that I'll mention, I said that you could do this on calculator, and so here's my calculator I was going to use as an example, even though it might look a little bit different than yours. So let's see, I said that you could use the factorial key, okay, and do it that way, but you probably also have the buttons to calculate 47, choose 5, or the permutation directly. So let me show you how that might work. So I'll press this button, and notice how the bigger number comes first than the smaller number. So I do 47, 5, and then if you have that capability in your calculator, it makes it a lot easier. So look at that, 1,533,939. That's the same number I got. So if you can find that function, either of these in the calculator, it allows you to do things more directly. It may not look exactly like here in my interface, but the buttons will look something like this. If you'd like to try to do it that way and you're having trouble figuring things out in your calculator, that's another thing you can send my way and I can help you.